Good morning and welcome to Family Jewels. I'm Colton Bartell.
And I'm Audie Bartell.
And that's the door beeping. So, we are both graduate gemologists here at Susann's Custom Jewelers. And today we are going to be talking about Tsavorite Garnet, which we have talked about in the past, but we've got some new stones to show you guys today. And we were hoping to have them ready to go.
With some technical difficulties.
We had some technical difficulties.
The planning on these are immense and complicated, and apparently our foam wasn't thick enough, so whenever we got the stones in the display, only one stayed where it was supposed to be.
Oh yeah, we flipped it up and it was like a rattle. They just all fell. So yeah, but we should be showing them to you here in just a little bit.
Why don't you talk a little bit and tell them one thing, that Tsavorite is basically a trade name to some degree.
Here, I'll let you do that. I'll organize
Okay.
There.
Okay, so for those that don't know, and maybe you kind of looked at this ahead of time, or maybe you've been around this before, Tsavorite garnets are green, and actually Tsavorite is a trade name. Part of that is they come from the Tsavorite district in Africa, but actually they're grossular garnets, and there for a long time the grossular garnets were at best translucent, so they almost looked a little bit like maybe green jade or whatever. But back in probably 60s, they found gem quality Tsavorite in Africa, and actually I met the guy back in, would have been about 82 maybe. Dan Jansen, I don't know if you remember Dan or not, some of you will, I guess. We went to a gemological symposium, actually the first one that GIA put on in California, and Campbell Bridges was one of the speakers there, and he's the guy that found basically tanzanite and Tsavorite. And his, I guess I will say, family, I don't know whether his wife's involved with it or not, but they still have a mine in the Tsavorite district, and I think it's got a name. I should have done a little checking there of where that's at or where, but they're still mining Tsavorites. There was about a 4 or 5 year period where they didn't. And the reason for that is Campbell was attacked, and what I kind of remember, they were out in the bush, and they were attacked, and he actually died in that attack, and it took 4 or 5, 6 years to bring some of the people to justice or whatever, and so that's kind of the background. And we've got, this is one that we've actually probably shown before. There's it's a little pear shape. I'll just kind of bring it up there where you can kind of see it. This is a little over a carat. I don't know if I can get it closer or not. So they're really bright green stones, kind of vary in color from, they can be almost a pastel green to a real deep bluish green. They'll rival emeralds as far as color at times. Normally Tsavorite is a little cleaner clarity wise. They're a singly refractive stone, so to some degree I think that kind of helps them being a bit brighter maybe than emerald. But kind of why we're revisiting this a little bit, we have a local guy that we've kind of made friends with that's retired, and he's taken up gemstone cutting up as a hobby. And he's gotten, I think, really good in a short period of time.
He has.
We've had him cut
a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah.
We've actually sent him stones that come out of old class rings that were just junk for him to practice on, and then it comes back and it's should we sell this? Like, this is actually pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just glass. And so now that he's gotten better.
Some of it was synthetic.
Yeah, some was synthetic. But he's gotten better. And so we entrusted him with some Tsavorite rough that we've had for how many years?
25 anyways, probably maybe more 30, closer to 30 years.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I got that for sure.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And it's just been basically sitting in the safe all these years.
Yeah, I look at it once in a while.
Admire it. Just, it's nice.
And it's one of those deals where, I probably could have sent it off and had it cut.
Yeah.
But
you never knew what you were going to get out of it.
Yeah, and now, if you figure depreciation, it's probably, 0. But now that it's been recut, we've got something that's saleable and really pretty.
Yeah, it actually is. So I got these stones rearranged and they stayed.
That's good.
Yeah, it is. And so these are actually some that he's cut recently. And this is all from the rough that basically we supplied to him.
And we started out, I think I gave him like three or 4 pieces.
Something like
5
that.
pieces maybe.
Yeah.
And because he didn't know for sure what it was going to cut like, and I
never messed with it.
I didn't know what it was going to cut like either.
Yeah.
But
this is a complete shot in the dark of if it was going to work.
He'd done a little practicing on some synthetic ruby and synthetic sapphire. And he's cut quartzes and what else has he cut? Topaz. He's cut some topaz. So topaz would be probably
pretty similar.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And maybe this is kind of between quartz and topaz. So,
yeah.
But anyway, so the first 3 or 4 he cut, he really liked how they cut.
Yeah.
And so did we. And so we gave him. I don't remember if I gave him all the rest of them we had, but I thought I only had like 10 pieces of this rough because it's in a little bitty box.
Yeah, but I think there was more in there than what you thought. But at the same time, he retained a lot of the weight that I did not think would be possible. I really, we knew that the stones were pretty clean and had good color, but some of them had some irregular shape to them and stuff like that. And
some were thin.
Yeah, so
like rectangular.
Expecting, any size of stone to come out of it was a little bit of a wish.
And then the other thing is he was used to cutting larger pieces of rough to begin with.
Yeah.
So he had to get some different dops, and that took a while. But yeah, he's actually cut some, and we'll maybe talk about them next time. He actually cut some sapphire, some Montana sapphire.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to get those cleaned up a little bit more and stuff, but. Yeah. Anyways, we wanted to show you they're really bright.
They really are.
He does one which is a little hard to tell here. It's an octagon, but when you look at it, if you don't look at it real close, it looks round, but they're actually little octagons.
Yeah.
And he does have, I think there is 1 or 2 rounds in there.
Yeah, there's a few rounds.
But these octagons are actually a lot better than what his rounds are.
Yeah, they're really pretty stones. I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen more of these in the industry in general, because they're extremely bright.
Yeah.
And they would actually be fairly easy to set. And so
you're thinking more from that setter's point of view, right?
Well, that and just beauty in general. But yeah, I mean, it does make my job a little easier. But I mean, yeah, I hadn't actually seen a true octagon like this. Normally when we're talking about an octagon,
it's still rectangular shape.
Yeah,
it's got like cut corners instead of this one is
a true octagon.
Yeah, it's got equal size. All of the sides are of equal size.
Yeah. And so, whenever we saw these the first time, he'd actually done some, I believe, amethyst that he'd recut for us. That was some chipped stuff that we had. And he brings those in. I'm like, what the heck is this? This stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
And so when he was asking what we wanted him to do with the remaining rough of the Tsavorite, we both kind of was like, well, we'd like to see more of the round, and especially those octagons, because
And we've got some emerald cuts in there. In fact, he's got a little bitty emerald cut.
Yeah, there is a really little emerald cut, and it's
But
actually really pretty.
some of those emerald cuts were some of that stuff that was fairly thin. You know, it's like maybe a bigger crystal, but it was rectangular and thin.
It's really more of a tabular.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's just, I mean, some of these are probably like primo. Granted, they're small, but just really nice color, really bright stones.
Yeah. I mean, for one, you're not just going to go into any store and find Tsavorite Garnet. Two, if you do find it, it's probably not going to be real great quality. You may find some, but to find this many stones and that are cut this nice,
yeah, and it's one of those things
pretty
where,
rare.
It'd be, Colton and I was talking about this, is maybe we buy rough and just have him cut rough.
Yeah.
But to
We'd
buy,
have really cool stones.
for the most part, you get Tsavorite, 5-6 carats and larger, it gets kind of scarce. Although I've seen some from the Campbell Bridges' mine that they cut.
Yeah.
Well, I did have a picture of that, but they're like 20, 25 carat stones, which I've never seen a Tsavorite that big.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
But
Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Jordan. Thanks for watching. So, if you're just joining us, we were talking about Tsavorite Garnets, which are these lovely green stones here.
we ought to show them what he started with.
Yeah.
Let's
And
see.
we're actually most specifically talking about a friend of ours here in Corpus that's actually cutting these stones for us and doing an exceptional job cutting. So this is actually what he started out with, is rough like this.
And I don't know if Colton's going to do that or not. We may post. He sent us a picture of one that he dopped up but didn't cut. So I'm going to kind of get this maybe where you can. Oh, it's kind of turned a little. This one actually has a little black inclusion up there towards the top. You can kind of see it a little bit. I got another one here. This one is a little greener. And I'm going to say some of this rough that he cut was actually more the color of this second piece of rough. And some maybe even a little deeper. Because the first ones he cut, he took some of the better ones. But, this doesn't look like much. And there for a long time, I just kind of set on them. I really didn't know what to do. I didn't even
It looks like rock candy.
Yeah, a little bit. Or like you got broken green glass something. But
Well, that doesn't sound near as appetizing.
what would you say, rock candy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a customer that insists that all the gemstones look like candy, and with these it really does. I mean, this looks like it. You went into the general store somewhere and picked out some lime or watermelon or something rock candy and broke a couple pieces off.
But what's nice is even this lighter stuff, for the most part, it seems like he's been able to cut this where he actually intensifies that color.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting some
impressive.
of these to be near as deep a green as what they were.
Yeah.
Some of them, but we've got probably half of those are really nice Tsavorite color.
Great color, great intense color,
And they're all
and
really
really
bright.
bright.
Even the emerald cuts.
Yeah, and that's something that's fairly unusual in colored stones. Is usually there's a trade-off, unless it's
Nice
the
color.
high end stones. You either have real intense color or you have a bright stone, because usually whenever you have a bright stone, it kind of washes out the color, and if you want to intensify the color, it kind of takes away the brightness. So it's usually one or the other, and somehow he's managed to get both out of this lot of rough, and quite impressive.
How many stones did he cut? 3, 7,
You
11,
probably got about
16,
24 of them, something like that.
16,
22.
21 so far.
Yeah. So It's been real impressive. We definitely encourage you guys to come in and check them out. If you're interested in seeing these, we do have these available for you to look at. And you can find us here at 4226 South Alameda here in the Town and Country Shopping Center right here in Corpus Christi. You can always find us online at susanns-jewelers.com and on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, and you can follow us on Instagram. So if you like
can't
this,
really get away from us.
they can't. So if you guys do like this video, please give it a thumbs up and a like, and share it with a friend. If you want to see more, go to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe and the little bell so that you can get alerts whenever new videos are posted. We do this show every week, every Tuesday morning, generally around the 10:45 area. But if there is something that you guys would like to learn more about, please feel free to leave us a comment or send us a message on Facebook, and we would be glad to do an episode on whatever topic that is jewelry related and get that covered for you. But
I'm glad you qualified that jewelry related.
Yeah, we need
That's
to
still pretty broad.
It's pretty broad. Yeah, it is.
'Cause we
But
can
I had to
track
narrow it
over-
down a little bit. I mean, we get sidetracked enough as it is. So, yeah. But anyway, we thank you guys for joining us. As I said, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, hit the like button, and share it with a friend. We thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you back here next week. If you have questions in the meantime, you can always reach us at 361-991-7565. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.